the memorial. This is the Feast of Purim. First of all, y'all give the Lord a hand for being here today. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in here looking glorious. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to see everybody here. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see everybody, especially in the middle of the hell that we living in right now. This story that we're about to go into today, it is beautiful because we are going through this right now as well. And this is a good lesson for the sisters and the brothers alike. You know, a lot of people say that the Bible is misogynistic and it's all about men and it hates women and it never talks about women. Well, this story today is coming from the book of Esther. Esther is not a man. It's not a man. This is a woman. And she's praised because of her selflessness. Women want to be praised for their selfishness. They want to be praised for how much money they have, how much jewelry they have, the kind of music that they make, but they don't do anything for the nation. This woman did something for the nation, and that's why she's remembered today. So this is to let you know, if you want to be remembered for generations to come, you have to be selfless and not selfish in order to be remembered for generations to generations. All right? We're going to start in Esther. We're going to start in chapter 2. Chapter 1, I just give you the rundown. Chapter 1 is about Vashti, which was King Ahasuerus' wife. And she was disobeying her husband. Her husband was calling her to a banquet, and she wouldn't come to the banquet. And in the midst of her not coming to the banquet, she was having a woman's party. She was in the women's chat group. And in this woman's party, she was talking against her husband. I do want to bring something out that happened in this. Before I go into that, let me see if I can find it real quick. Who I got reading? Somebody read read verse 17 to chapter 1. Yeah, read verse 17. Whoever reading. Now, this is what you got to understand, men and women. Your behavior is not tolerated, and it shouldn't ever be tolerated because the way you behave affects everybody. And men, you have to know this and understand this as well. Your wife's behavior in front of everybody can affect our wives' behavior. And it can affect single sisters' behavior and their mindset. And that's what these heathens knew. So read verse 17.
Come. It's the book of Esther, chapter 1, verse 17. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women.
Now, Vashti was the queen of Persia. She was the queen under the king, what's his name? I almost said his name is Ashtar. Osiris. You understand? Osiris is who we would call, what's his name from the movie? Artaxerxes, which is also Xerxes in the movie 300. Right? This is the Persian king that had men walking he walked on men's backs and used them as a ladder. And they carried that big old thing. This is this king. Okay? This is this Persian king. And this is his queen, Vashti. Keep reading.
Come. So that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes.
Now, the thing that this queen did will make all these women despise their husband. Imagine this. If the queen can disobey her husband, then nigga, why do I got to listen to you? And you broke. You not a king. You're not even a prince. You're not a duke. You nothing. So why in the hell do I got to listen to you when Vashti, the queen, don't even listen to the king? That's the example that she was setting by her actions. Go ahead.
Come. When it shall be reported, the king Osiris commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him.
Mm-hmm.
But she came not.
But she didn't even come. Keep reading.
18. Likewise, shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes, which have heard of the deed of the queen.
Mm-hmm.
Thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath.
That's what's going to happen when everybody find out in the nation that the queen didn't listen to her husband. Contention and wrath. There's going to be a lot of arguing and fighting because this lady is seen as a public figure. And you have to know, as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, especially in the truth, everybody's watching your lifestyle. Everybody's watching how you deal with your husband because they know how you used to be. And when you have that smart mouth and that quick tongue and that attitude and all snappy, they're going to say, what's the point of me coming into the truth? Because she act the same way she's always acted. I could be a Christian and act like that. I can be a Muslim. I don't have to believe in nothing and act like that. Your job as a leader is to show the world and everybody that's watching you how to behave. Keep reading.
19. If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him.
Mm-hmm.
And let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before the king Osiris.
You know what these heathens said? Because this woman doing this, king, you got to get rid of her. That's what they said. The only solution for this nation of people was to get rid of this wicked woman. Because, keep reading.
Come. And let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she.
Another one that's what?
Better than she.
You got to find a woman better than this because you don't deserve this, king. Salakia, sir, but this sister is disrespecting you. You need a better woman. That was their solution to this. But in the Isupk, we are trained and taught that we're going to have to deal with your bad attitude, loud mouth behind. That's what we are trained and taught in here. So now, we're going to go to chapter 2 because I want to get to the meat of it. Let's go to verse 2.
The book of Esther, chapter 2, verse 2. Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, let there be fair young virgins sought for the king.
Go ahead.
3. And let the king appoint officers in all the provinces of his kingdom, that they may gather together all the fair young virgins unto Shushan the palace, to the house of the custody of head the king's chamberlain,
Right, go ahead.
keeper of the woman, and let their things for purification be given them.
So what happened was they got a bunch of women into the palace to replace Vashti. Now the king is trying to find a new wife. In lieu of him finding a new wife, one of our sisters, Esther, she came in to fulfill this position. But the only reason she came in is because of her uncle Mordecai. Her uncle Mordecai, which was a Benjamite, had a dream. And in his dream, matter of fact, let's go to his dream. Go to the editions of Esther. It's in the Apocrypha. And I want you to go to chapter 11. Yes, it is. Edition of Esther in the Apocrypha. Yeah, if you don't have it on your phone, you need to upgrade your app. Okay, go ahead. All right, we're going to start at verse. We're going to start at verse. Start at verse 2.
Come. The editions of Esther, chapter 11, verse 2. In the second year of the reign of
Artaxerxes,
the Great, in the first day of the month Nisan, Mardochus, the son of Jairus, the son of Semei, the son of Sisai, of the tribe of Benjamin, had a dream.
Go ahead.
3, who was a Jew and dwelt in the city of Susa, a great man, being a servitor in the king's court.
Go ahead.
4, he was also one of the captives, which...
Go ahead, start at verse 5. Get straight to the point.
5, behold, a noise of a tumult with thunder and earthquakes and uproar in the land. 6, and behold, 2 great dragons came forth, ready to fight, and their cry was great.
Go ahead.
7, and their cry, all nations were prepared to battle, that they might fight against the righteous people. 8, and lo, a day of darkness and obscurity, tribulation and anguish, affliction and great uproar upon the earth. 9, and the whole righteous nation was troubled, fearing their own evils, and were ready to perish.
Now, this is what Mordecai saw in his dream that made him say to his niece, I need for you to go and do something for me. And not just for me, but for our nation. So you got to understand, the thing that Christianity takes away from the Bible is that we are in a war. And everything that's going on is a physical war and spiritual war. We are in war right now. Anytime a white man kills a black man, that's an act of war. Anytime any nation kills another nation, that's an act of war. And when you are under another nation, they are always looking for you to try to fight to be set free from them, to raise war against them. We were in slavery under these Persians. And Artaxerxes had, I think, 127 provinces that he ruled over. So he was a very wealthy king. He ruled majority of the earth at the time. You understand? And this is what Mordecai saw in his dream. Keep reading.
Verse 9. And the whole righteous nation was troubled, fearing their own evils, and were ready to perish. 10. Then they cried unto God, and upon their cry, as it were from a little fountain, was made a great flood, even much water.
This is his dream now. This is a vision. Keep reading.
Come on. Verse 11. The light and the sun rose up, and the lowly were exalted, and devoured the glorious. 12. Now when Mardochus, who was seeing this dream, and what God had determined to do, was awake, he bare this dream in mind, and until night, by all means, was desirous to know it.
He wanted to know what this dream meant. So while let me get Sean the Pod. I want you to read for me out. Read chapter 10. Go back one chapter. Read chapter 10, so we can find out what this dream meant. And when we get this, then you're going to be able to see how everything's playing out in what happened with this. Go ahead.
It's the book of Esther, chapter 4, chapter 10, verse 4. There Mardochus said, God had done these things. Verse 5, for I remember a dream which I saw concerning these matters, and nothing thereof hath failed.
Go ahead.
Verse 6, a little fountain became a river, and there was light, and the sun, and much water. This river is Esther, whom the king married and made queen.
In his dream, he saw a little fountain that became a river. And that river was Esther because she became a queen. That's what he's saying. Keep reading.
Verse 7, and the 2 dragons are I and Ammon.
Ammon is the devil that's going to try to fight to kill us. That's who Ammon is. And you're about to find out about Ammon. Keep reading.
Khan, verse 8. And the nations were those that were assembled to destroy the name of the Jews.
Go ahead.
Khan, verse 9. And my nation is Israel, which cried to God and were saved. For the Lord hath saved his people, and the Lord hath delivered us from all those evils. And God hath wrought signs and great wonders, which have not been done among the Gentiles.
Keep reading.
Verse 10. Therefore hath he made two lots, one for the people of God, and another for all the Gentiles.
Go ahead.
Khan, verse 11. And these two lots came at the hour and time and day of judgment before God among all nations.
Go ahead.
Verse 12. So God remembered his people.
All people?
His people.
Planet Earth?
God remembered his people and justified his inheritance.
Let me tell you something, man. This entire Bible is about the Lord saving Israel. That's what this Bible is about. Because the Lord made a promise to Abraham that he would make us a great nation and we will rule the earth. Let me ask you a question. When has the nation of Israel ruled the earth? Never. So let me ask you a question. If Christ comes back and puts all nations in rulership, then what does that make the Most High? I'm going to say that again. If Christ comes back and he puts all nations in rulership before the nation of Israel gets their rulership, what does that make the Most High?
A liar.
A liar. Now, is the Lord a liar? That's what Christians believe. Christians believe that the Lord is a liar because he's never done what he said that he was going to do. And the scriptures say God is not a man that he should lie. You understand? Because we know the Bible and we understand the Bible, we understand that there is no way that other nations will get salvation with us because we never got what the Lord promised to us from Abraham. You understand? Keep reading.
Verse 13. Therefore, those days shall be unto them in the month Adar, the 14th and 15th day of the same month, with an assembly and joy and with gladness before God, according to the generations forever among his people.
This is why we're celebrating this Feast of Purim now, because it's a memorial about how the Lord freed us from the hand of our enemy, the same way we celebrate the Passover because the Lord freed us from the hand of our enemy. The same way the Lord freed us in any time, just like in America. We remember the Alamo. We remember all of these different wars that we won. Well, in the Bible, it has wars that we won under our king or under the Most High because of his love for us. That's what this entire book is about. Now let's go to the book of Esther. So we know that the king chose Esther to be his wife. To make a long story short, why? Because she was so beautiful, and she was so feminine. He didn't choose her because she was a bad bee, and she was independent. He chose her because of her spirit. You got to understand that the thing that's more important than your looks is the spirit that you have. That is more important than anything. And that's what the Lord wants. The Lord looks at your spirit. He looks at why you do things, not how you did it. It's easy for you to give $100,000 when you a billionaire, but it's hard for you to give $100 and all you got is $100. It's hard for you to give $10 when all you got is $100. It's hard for you to give a penny when you only got 10. The Lord wants you to give not because you're going to get something in return. He wants you to give from the kindness of your heart. You understand? And that's what this world don't understand. Go to verse, chapter 2. And let's find out, let's get this before we go into, let's get verse 20. Let's go start at verse 20. 2 and 20.
Colonel Khan, this is the book of Esther, chapter 2, verse 20. Esther had not yet shewed her kindred nor her people.
Now, when she got raised up to be a queen, she didn't show her family or her people that she was the queen. Why do you think she did that? If you became the queen, what would be the first thing you do? You post it on Facebook. You tell everybody, girl, look at me. I'm a queen. Look at me. She said, read that part again.
Verse 20, Esther had not yet shewed her kindred nor her people.
Go ahead.
Colonel Khan, as Mordecai had charged her.
Let me tell you, Mordecai said, your family is poor. And they don't need to feel bad because you made it out. So when you become queen, don't tell anybody. That's what Mordecai did. He told her not to let anybody know. Just keep it low. Keep it on. Don't let anybody know that you're a Jew. Because it was having compassion on the poor people. You're going to see. Keep reading.
Colonel Khan. For Esther did the commandment of Mordecai, like as when she was brought up with him.
Keep reading.
Verse 21, in those days, while Mordecai sat at the king's gate, two of the king's chamberlains, Bigthan and Therish, of those which kept the door, were wroth, and sought to lay hand on the king Ahasuerus.
Right.
Verse 22. And the thing was known to Mordecai,
Go ahead.
who told it unto Esther the queen. And Esther certified the king thereof in Mordecai's name.
So, let me tell you what happened. Mordecai got Esther into the palace to be a queen by her beauty. After that, Mordecai told on two men that were trying to kill the king. What happened? Esther turns around to tell the king, Mordecai is the man that saved your life.
Right.
They working together on this heathen. They not divided. They not arguing with each other. This sister is following every order that Mordecai gives her, whether she likes it or not.
Right.
She didn't want to not tell everybody. But Mordecai said, don't tell nobody. Hide yourself. Don't let it be known. She said, cut out of one cut.
Right.
While she was in there and Mordecai got this man killed, got them men killed that was trying to kill the king, she didn't say, I found this information out on my own. She said, Mordecai is the one that did it. What they doing? They working together. Because at the end of all of this is a war that we're fighting. And you're going to see how it all plays out in the end. Keep reading.
Verse 23. And when inquisition was made of the matter, it was found out. Therefore, they were both hanged on a tree. And it was written in the book of the Chronicles before the king.
All right, that's sweat. No sweat. Let me get a new reader. Chapter 3. Anybody. It don't matter. Chapter 3. Let's go.
Verse 1, sir.
Verse 1, yeah.
Colonel Khan, sir. The book of Esther, chapter 3, verse 1. After these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite.
The whatite?
Agagite.
Who are the Agagites? Who are those people? Tabazar. Get the mic.
Salaki, sir, that's the Amalekites, the descendants of Agag.
Right.
Agag.
Why is he still alive?
Salaki, sir, because King Saul didn't kill him.
Because King Saul didn't kill him. That's why. Give him a hand. This is why he's alive right now. Because King Saul didn't kill him when he was ordered to kill all of the Amalekites. You understand? Keep reading.
Colonel Khan, sir. and advanced him, and set his seat above all the princes that were with him. Verse 2. And all the king's servants that were in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Haman, for the king had so commanded concerning him. But Mordecai bowed not.
But what?
Mordecai bowed not.
Mordecai did not bow to this Edomite. Why not? Why did Mordecai not bow to him? Anybody know? Anybody take a guess? Go ahead. Get the mic.
Because it's a sin. It's not our culture to bow to anybody, just like Daniel didn't bow.
Yeah, but, okay, you right. But, okay, what you got, Yeshaya? I want to see.
That was the dragon he had to fight.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's right. Go ahead. Come on.
Because he was a Jew and the other dude was a devil.
All right, I'm gonna ask you this. Go to Editions of Esther, read chapter 13, verse 12. Matter of fact, read verse 13. And then I'm gonna ask you the question again. Addition to Esther, chapter 13, verse 13.
The book of additions to Esther, chapter 13, verse 13. For I could have been content with good will for the salvation of Israel. Khan, sir. Additions of Esther, chapter 13, verse 12. Thou knowest all things, and thou knowest, Lord, that it was neither in contempt nor pride, nor for any desire of glory, that I did not bow down to proud Ammon.
What did he say? It was what?
It was neither in contempt nor pride, nor for any desire of glory, that I did not bow down to proud Ammon.
Go ahead.
Verse 13. For I could have been content with good will for the salvation of Israel, to kiss the soles of his feet.
What is he saying? Go ahead. Tapazor.
Salaki, he didn't bow down to him because of his pride.
He didn't bow down because of whose pride?
Haman's pride.
Because the white man wanted him to. He didn't bow down to this white man because he knew how bad the white man wanted him to. He said, if it was for the freedom of my people, I would have kissed his boot. That's what he said. He said, if it would have saved my people, I would have kissed his boot. He said, if it would have been for the freedom of my people, I would have kissed his boot. But because of this devil's pride, I ain't bowing to him. Now, how many black people do you see doing that today outside the UPK? The white man, you can't even sit down for the national anthem. You understand? Have you seen the video with Steve Harvey acting like a monkey? Y'all seen that video when he was doing that comedy show and he was saying, for these white people, I act like a monkey. You want me to act like a monkey? What? You ever seen that video? That is the spirit of a black man in America. He gonna do whatever he gotta do to make it in this white kingdom. That's his, nick and cranny. He is going to kiss boots, kiss behind, blow rod, do whatever he gotta do. Ammon was like, I ain't doing nothing because I know he wants me to do it. Keep reading. Go back to where we was at in Esther.
Khan, sir.
Tell them where we at.
The book of Esther, chapter 3. Salakia, chapter 2.
Go ahead.
Nor did him reverence.
Chapter 2, verse what?
Chapter 3, verse 2, sir.
All right, go ahead.
But Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence.
Keep reading.
Verse 3. Then the king's servants, which were in the king's gate, said unto Mordecai, Why transgressive thou the king's commandment?
Go ahead.
Verse 4. Now it came to pass, when they spake daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai's matters would stand,
Go ahead.
for he had told them that he was a Jew.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 5. And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Haman full of wrath.
Keep reading.
Verse 6. And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom.
Wait. Read that part again. Haman did what?
Haman sought to destroy all the Jews.
Just Mordecai.
All the Jews
Uh-huh.
that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus.
Let me tell you something. A lot of people don't come into UPK because they think we crazy, right? And they think that they gonna die if they come into UPK. You gonna die because you are brothers and sisters. You gonna die because you affiliated with us through skin. You gonna listen. Amon said, "I'm gonna kill all of these Jews because of what one black man did." So we going down on the street saying the white man is the devil. You gonna die for them boot kisses, whether you in the UPK or not, because the white man hates you for being a Jew. He hates you for being black, whether you with us or not. He didn't attack Mordecai for what Mordecai did. He wanted to kill all the Jews because of his hatred for Mordecai. Well, that's what the white man does right now. He got an abortion clinic set up because he hates the UPK. He got the prison population set up because he hates what we do in the truth. You're not going to be able to get away from the wrath of the white man by not being with us. You leave yourself susceptible to the punishment of the white man because of what we got going on in this truth. Now you're not protected by the Lord.
Right.
Now when the white man brings the hammer down, you have no protection. Keep reading.
Khan, sir. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus,
Uh-huh.
even the people of Mordecai.
You see that? He's going to destroy the whole family, everybody, because of what Mordecai did. That's what's happening now. The white man hates the UPK, so he'll just kill all black people so you won't get in the UPK. He'll say, I can't make these people get out the UPK, but I can stop anybody from coming in. I'll just put all of them in jail, make them homosexuals, make them murderers and rapists, and make it to where they don't ever come in. When I got into that little group that's on Facebook, I never knew. I knew we always say that it's UPK versus everybody. But getting into that group lets me see how it's really UPK versus everybody. It's a group on Facebook where people hate us, brother. Good night, and I love it. I get in there and I try to post everything that I know they hate that we say. You know why? Because they don't hate Yadazak, because Yadazak does not represent himself. Mordecai not bowing didn't represent Mordecai. It represents the Lord. And they hate the Lord. They hate that masculinity that we have in us. Not being weak and having a spine. They hate that. And that's what the Lord loves about our people. He loves the fact that we're not easily broken. If we could love the Lord like we love the white man, we'll be in the kingdom. If we had the loyalty that we had to the white man, to the Most High, we would be in the kingdom of heaven ruling the earth right now. Keep reading that.
Khan, sir. Verse 7. In the first month, that is the month of Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast Pur, that is the lot, before Haman, day to day, and from month to month, to the 12th month, that is the month of Adar.
Go ahead.
Verse 8. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces in thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people.
What is he saying about us? Go ahead.
That they differ from everybody.
He said, look, there's some people in your land that's different from everybody in the land. Keep reading.
Kanawakan, sir. Neither keep they the king's laws, therefore it is not for the king's profit to suffer them.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Verse 9. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed.
Let they may be loved.
That they may be destroyed.
Give them housing.
That they may be destroyed.
Listen, if you are not talking about joining the white man system, then the white man wants you dead. If you're not unifying with what they want you to do, then they don't want you doing anything ever again. Keep reading.
Kanawakan, sir. And I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business to bring it into the king's treasury.
Somebody look up how much is 10,000 talents of silver. Talents. We're going to find out how much money he put on our head. Keep reading.
Kanawakan, sir, verse 10. And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it unto Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy.
Read verse 13.
Kanawakan, sir, verse 13. And the letters were sent by post into all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and to cause perish all Jews.
How many Jews?
All Jews.
Just Mordecai and his family.
All Jews.
Because of what this man did and the hatred that he had, he been having this hatred for the Jews since Saul. Since we went into their land and killed their people. How much money is that? How much? Now let me tell you something. 25 cents back in the day could have bought you a bag of chips, a soda, and and a toy out the store. Imagine how much 385,000. How much was it? 380,000. How much 380,000 would have got you back then during the time of sheep, goats, and horses? Right, this brother put a planet on your head. Go ahead, Op.
It say 1 talent is 348,000, but 10,000 talents is 3.48 billion.
Stop. Hold up. We just changed the whole we just changed the whole equation. Read that. Wait, hold up. Something ain't right with the math. Look, you ain't carrying the one. Say that again, Op.
It says today 1 talent would be 348,000.
But
then 10,000 talents will be 3.48 billion.
This is what this white man said. The white man said, "Look, man, I got 3.48 billion on these Jews' head. Billion. Back then. I'm talking about. Listen, man. This man hates you so much. He fronted your death. He put I can't even remember the damn number. Billion. He put billions on your head. It take $2,500 to knock a nigga off now. You know what I'm saying? You putting some billions on us. That's how much they hate us, man. Keep reading though.
Kanawakan, sir. Both young and old.
How many?
Both young and old.
Go ahead.
Little children and women. In one day, even upon the 13th day of the 12th month.
Listen, man. He put a lick out on you for the day he wanted to happen. He wants your wife. He wants your kids. He wants you. He wants all of you gone. That's the hatred the white man has for you. And he's had it since Esther. He's had it since the womb. We fought in the womb against them. So you thought when you came out the womb that the fighting was going to stop? Now they got the bread on your head. You see what I'm saying? Keep reading that.
Kanawakan, sir. Even upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar, and to take the spoil of them for a prey. Verse 14.
No, read chapter 4, verse 1. Let's get to it now.
The book of Esther, chapter 4, verse 1. When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth with ashes, and went out into the midst of the city and cried with a loud and a bitter cry.
And that's what we do right now as priests. We go out in the midst of the city and cry with a loud, bitter cry. We cry and say that the white man is the devil. We out in our sackcloth right now in all black. We don't wear this black to resemble the luxury and the happiness and you know how much we love this place. We wear black. You come in this school, you put on all black because that's the sackcloth. That's what it is. You recognize you are living in hell. Now it's time to mourn for your brothers and sisters that have not been recognizing that they was in hell. You've been living your life, all your life, not knowing that you didn't have to die to go to this place. You here right now. The white man told you, you go to hell when you die. So they make you think about a place worse than this. What's worse than your mama and your uncle and daddy being a crackhead? What's worse than being molested and raped? What's worse than living in a society where nobody loves you? There is nothing worse than that. You don't have to die to meet the devil. You see the devil, you filled out an application to work at his goddamn business. Go ahead, Art.
Oh, Salakia, so I just want, you had mentioned the abortion clinics. I looked up how much money does Planned Parenthood bring in. It said its combined annual revenue is $1.3 billion, including approximately $530 million in government funding.
Let me tell you something. The white man said, you know what? I can't kill them, but I can make them kill them. I can make them kill each other. I can make them destroy each other. That's what I can do. Keep reading. Where we at?
Verse 5.
We in verse 5?
No, Salakia, verse 3.
Okay, verse 3. Go ahead, read that.
Kanawakan. Verse 3. And in every province, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, there was great mourning among the Jews, and fasting, and weeping, and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes. So Esther's maids and her chamberlains came and told it to her. Then was the queen exceedingly grieved, and she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai and to take away his sackcloth from him, but he received it not.
Look, the woman was trying, listen, that spirit on that woman was trying to fight, but she was trying to say, you know what? It's all good. Here, uncle, I'm going to send you some clothes. Don't worry about what's going on. Mordecai was like, man, I don't want these clothes because this devil is trying to kill us. He didn't even receive the gift that she sent. This is a gift coming from the palace. He's like, I don't want these clothes. Man, this devil trying to kill us. Keep reading.
Kanawakan, sir. Verse 5. Then called Esther for Hatak, one of the king's chamberlains, whom he had appointed to attend upon her, and gave him a commandment to Mordecai to know what it was and why it was.
Go ahead.
Verse 6. So Hatak went forth to Mordecai unto the street of the city, which was before the king's gate. And Mordecai told him of all that had happened unto him, and of the sum of money that Haman had promised to pay to the king's treasuries for the Jews to destroy them.
Go ahead.
Verse 8. Also, he gave him the copy of the writing of the decree that was given at Shushan to destroy them, to show it unto Esther and to declare it unto her.
He needed her to see how serious this was. He showed her what it was that was going around in all these different cities that Osiris was over. Keep reading.
And to charge her that she should go in unto the king to make supplication unto him and to make requests before him for her people.
Go ahead.
And Hatak came and told Esther the words of Mordecai. Again, Esther spake unto Hatak and gave him commandment unto Mordecai. All the king's servants and the people of the king's provinces do know that whosoever, whether man or woman, shall come unto the king into the inner court, who is not called, there is one law of his to put him to death.
To do what?
To put him to death.
What is she saying right now?
That if
Yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
that if she goes in to see the king without permission or being asked to see the king, that she could die.
She could die. So what did this turn this into?
A life or death decision.
Give her a hand. Give him a hand. This ain't no, see, you do stuff for yourself. Your life is never put on the line. This sister's decision that she had to make was life or death. That's what this was. So now it became something more serious. At first it was just her and her uncle Mordecai. But now he's showing her this ain't just me and you. You in this house for a reason. The Lord put you here for a reason. Stop. Never mind. I'm jumping ahead of myself. Keep reading.
Khan, sir. Except such to whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter, that he may live. Mm-hmm. But I have not been called to come in unto the king these 30 days.
Go ahead.
And they told Mordecai Esther's words. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with thyself.
Think what?
Think not with thyself.
Think all about yourself.
Think not with thyself.
Go ahead.
That thou shalt escape in the king's house more than all the Jews.
Listen here, Michelle Obama. Don't think that you gonna not worry about what's going on in the streets and escape in the White House. Right. See, this is the perfect. Michelle Obama could have been remembered forever, like Esther. Damn. She could have done something that Esther did that would have made us remember her forever. Right. The Lord put her with that. She with that heathen, and guess what she could have did with that heathen? Thought about us. But you know what she did? She thought with herself. She only thought about herself and her children, the little big head girls, and she only thought about them, and she didn't care about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. She didn't do nothing for us. So that's why she won't be remembered. She will never be remembered. We talking about Esther. This is thousands of years later. This is not 2,000 years later. This is more than 2,000 years old. And we're talking about her right now because of the selflessness that she showed. That's right. Keep reading.
Khan, sir. For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. Mm-hmm. But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed. And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this? He
said, if you don't say nothing right now, we gonna die, your family gonna die, and you gonna die. Don't try to exclude yourself from what's going on, because we the same people. Keep reading.
Khan, sir. Then Esther bade them return Mordecai this answer. Go gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. I also and my maidens will fast likewise, and so will I go in unto the king, which is not according to the law. And if I perish, I perish.
Say that again.
And if I perish, I perish.
What did Esther say? She said, look, everybody pray for me. Fast for me, and if I die, I die. But if I die, I'm dying for everybody. This sister said she gonna die for the nation like Christ if I got to. That's how she felt. That's why she's remembered. Now, how many of you can do? How many of you sisters can do that? Right. So put your hand down. That's the truth. This sister here said, if I die, I die. Good night. Now, she about to pray to the Most High. Give me the addition to Esther chapter 14. Let's listen to the prayer that she sent up to the Most High. Now, beware. This ain't no Christian prayer. She did not send up a Lord in the name of Jesus. I come before you right now. That is not what she sent up. She sent up a warrior prayer. You know why? Because she understands that this is a battle. This is a fight. Go ahead, read that. Start at verse 3.
Khan, sir.
Hold up. Restart at verse 2. Because I want you to see how in the mud she got with her people. Go ahead.
Khan, verse 2. And laid away her glorious apparel, and put on the garments of anguish and mourning. And instead of precious ointments, she covered her head with ashes and dung.
And what?
And dung.
And what?
And dung.
What did she do?
She covered her head in...
She covered her head in dookie. In boo-boo. That's what she did for her people. How many sisters will cover their head in boo-boo for their people? Oh, what happened to them hands? You wouldn't have died. But you won't put no boo-boo on your head? You see? You see how the real start coming out your spirit? We just ask for some boo-boo on your head. We ain't even asking you to die. You see what I'm saying? That selfish demon start taking over. Go ahead, keep reading.
Khan, sir. And she humbled her body greatly. And all the places of her joy she filled with her torn hair.
Go ahead.
And she prayed unto the Lord God of Israel, saying, O my Lord, thou only art our king. Help me, desolate woman, which have no helper but thee. For my danger is in my hand. From my youth up I have heard in the tribe of my family that thou, O Lord, tookest Israel from among all people and our fathers from all their predecessors for a perpetual inheritance. And thou hast performed whatsoever thou didst promise them.
You see that? She's saying, look, as I grew up as a child, I've always heard how you've always loved us from the other nations. How you separated us from everybody else and loved us only. So you know what? I'm coming to you right now. Go ahead.
Khan, sir. And now we have sinned before thee. Therefore thou hast given us into the hands of our enemies.
Go ahead.
Because we worship their gods, O Lord. Thou art righteous.
Stop. That's the cut real right there. She said, we in captivity because of our sin, and she's not complaining. You are righteous. Lord, you righteous for having us in captivity because we worship the other gods. But if you could, go ahead.
Nevertheless.
Never the what?
Nevertheless.
But if you could, go ahead.
It satisfies them not that we are in bitter captivity.
But even though you have us in captivity, they not stopping at that. We're living through the worst condition that anybody could live through. And they not happy with that. Keep reading.
Khan, sir. But they have stricken hands with their idols.
They high-fiving white Jesus. Good job. We got them. Good job, Buddha. We got them locked in. Good job, Allah. That's what I'm talking about. They striking hands with their idols. Go ahead.
That they will abolish the thing that thou with thy mouth hast ordained.
You hear what she's saying? She's talking to the Lord like, these heathens are saying they gonna kill us, but you ordained us. Lord, you gonna let these heathens kill the very people that you ordained with your mouth? She trying to get the Lord to listen. She know what she doing. Keep going.
Khan, sir. And destroy thine inheritance, and stop the mouth of them that praise thee.
I thought everybody praised the Lord. He says these heathens are trying to stop the mouth of the only people that praise you. Because he's the God of who? Make it plain. Go ahead.
The Amalek.
Nah.
Hey, Salaki, sir.
Go ahead.
He's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Give him a hand. That's who he is. He's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He didn't say, the Bible doesn't say he's the God of Abraham, Isaac, Ishmael, Jacob, Esau. It doesn't say none of that. It's very specific about who he's talking about. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That means if you are not of those people, he's not your God. That's very clear. Keep reading.
Khan, sir. And quench the glory of thy house and of thine altar.
Go ahead.
And open the mouths of the heathens to set forth the praises of the idols, and to magnify a fleshly king forever.
They talking about killing us and magnifying some man. They want to defame you, and they want to magnify a fleshly king forever. This is a slap in the face. You the king. You the Lord of everything. But they want to worship some man. Keep reading.
Khan, sir.
Verse 11. Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 11. O Lord, give not thy scepter unto them that be nothing.
Don't give your rulership to these people who are nothing. Right. Go ahead.
Khan. And let them not laugh at our fall.
And if we fall, you are giving them the excuse to fall if you let them kill us. Don't let them be able to laugh at us. Go ahead.
But turn their device upon themselves, and make him an example that hath begun this against us.
Now, who begun this against us?
So like you said, the white man, Haman.
Haman, this white man. You see how people always say, man, y'all always talking about the white man and the black man. The Bible is talking about the white man and the black man. Haman is an Amalekite, which is what you would call today a what? A Macedonian, which would be who today?
A so-called Jew.
A Jewish man. This battle that we are having with the Jewish man has been going on since Esther, since Saul. You understand? Those are the people that came up behind us when we left out of Egypt and slayed our old and children and all of that. This is a never-ending battle because this is a war. It is not a fight. It is not a battle. It's a war. And a war goes on until somebody either surrenders or everybody dies. That's what the war is. Keep reading.
Khan, sir, verse 12. Remember, O Lord, make thyself known in the time of our affliction, and give me boldness, O King of the nations, and Lord of all power.
Right.
Give me eloquent speech in my mouth.
This is her prayer that she's praying to the Most High. Go ahead.
Before the lion, turn his heart to hate him that fights against us.
He like turn the king's heart against this white man. This the prayer she sent up. She didn't say, Lord, love me and this brother and everybody. That said, we all need to come together and unify. He said, turn this heart against them that hate us. When have you prayed and asked the Lord to turn the heart of the white man against the black man so that we can all fight against each other? When have you ever said that in the prayer? Because that's what the Lord wants. Christ is not coming back for peace. What is the only way you can get peace on earth? War. That's the only way. Christ is coming back for war so that we can have peace. You want to have peace without war. And that's why you keep dying. Because you won't stand up and fight for them killing your brothers. You won't stand up and say it's wrong that they destroying our people. So we constantly die. Because you are trying to take the cheap way out. Keep reading.
Khan, sir. That there may be an end of him, and of all that are like-minded to him.
Right, go ahead.
Verse 14. But deliver us with thine hand, and help me that am desolate, which have no other help but thee.
Oh, it's going to get good. Keep reading.
Verse 15. Thou knowest all things, O Lord. Thou knowest that I hate the glory of the unrighteous, and abhor the bed of the uncircumcised.
She says, sir, Salakia, I hate being married to this heathen, this uncircumcised heathen. I hate the bed of this heathen. She's like, man, I got to go lay with this old uncircumcised and eating heathen, and I hate it. Keep reading.
Kanawakan, sir. And of all the heathen.
Go ahead.
Thou knowest my...
Wait. And of all the what?
And of all the heathen.
Not only do I hate this heathen that I got to sleep with, but I hate them all. Keep reading.
Kanawakan, sir. Verse 16. Thou knowest my necessity, for I abhor the sign of my high estate.
She abhor what?
The sign of my high estate.
She said, I hate being a queen. I hate the fact that everybody knows that I'm a queen in this shithole. Keep reading.
Kanawakan, sir. Which is upon mine head in the days wherein I show myself, and that I abhor it as a menstruous rag.
You hear that? I hate being a queen to this heathen like a period rag. That's what this is why she's remembered. She didn't get the money and sell out. She didn't take the bag and then be, selling out. I love the WAP. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to, I want you to see, I'm trying to join America. No. She like, look, sir, I hate being here. I'm just doing my job. That's the only reason I'm here. Go ahead. What'd you say? I'm just doing it so I won't get fined. Right. Keep reading.
Kanawakan, sir. And that I wear it not when I am private by myself.
Stop. She like, I don't wear these heathen clothes when I'm by myself. I don't put on these clothes that, the king gave me when I'm by myself. Keep reading.
And that thine handmaid hath not eaten at Ammon's table.
And me or my handmaids, we not eating his food. We're not eating his pork, his shrimp, crab, and lobster. We're not eating none of that. What we doing is, we eating in our room by ourselves. Keep reading.
Kanawakan, sir. And that I have not greatly esteemed the king's feast, nor drunk the wine of the drink offering.
Come on now. This sister letting you know, look, Salakia, sir, I need your help, and I don't care about the place I'm in. I don't care about the money I got, the clothes, the wealth, the riches. I don't care about none of that. How many of you can say that? You trying to make it in this society. You trying to become somebody great in this society. When Christ didn't die for America, he died for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And he died so that he could be the king of you. That he can, and guess what? And he wants you to rule over everybody else. He died so that you could become what the white man is in the society today. The way everybody looks up to the white man, he wants it to be to where everybody looks up to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's why he gave his life on the cross. And that's why he said, forgive them, Lord, because they know not what they do. They don't even know. I'm trying to put them on, and they out here blocking. They out here saying, crucify me, and I'm trying to get them raised up. And why do you think you get a crown on your head? What do you think the crown is for? The crown is for rulership because you went through the mud with him. How many of you are going through the mud? Are you afraid to go through? Or are you scared to wear your dawah out in front of your family? Are you afraid to talk about the Israelites in front of your family? Well, you're not going through the mud. You a covert Israelite. That's what you are. You are an undercover agent. You don't deserve a crown. You don't deserve rulership. You hiding the truth. No, the scriptures say, he said, don't hide your light under a bushel. Let your light go before men so that men can see you. You should walk around with your shield out. You should be Yatazak Bun Yahawada Bun Yasha'Allah at your mama house. That's what you do. I didn't name you that. I know you didn't. The Lord did. The man of the Lord did. That's my name. You understand? And that's what this sister understood. Listen, you got to be bold for the Lord. You can't be a coward and think you deserve. a crown on your head. No, man. You deserve lashes. You deserve to be whooped because you are afraid to stand for your king. Keep reading that.
Come on, concert. Verse 18. Neither hath thine handmaid any joy since the day that I was brought hither to this present. But
And since I've been in the palace, I've had no joy here. I have not enjoyed being in the palace. I have not enjoyed being the queen. I have not enjoyed anything. I hate being here. That's what a queen said. Keep reading.
Come on, concert. But in thee, O Lord God of Abraham.
But my faith has been in you, God of Abraham. Keep reading.
Verse 19. O thou mighty God above all, hear the voice of the forlorn and deliver us out of the hands of the mischievous and deliver me out of my fear.
That is what this sister prayed for. She didn't say, Lord, bless us all. She said, I hate these heathens. I hate being here. I hate the way I'm living, even though I'm rich. I hate being in the palace. Now, what? Now, let me ask you, sisters, would you hate being in the palace if you was married to some heathen? Nah, you would live in that palace and you would be so happy to be there and you would say, to hell with y'all. Y'all need to get y'all a better man. Y'all don't know how to pick them. I know how to pick them. You don't know how to pick them. You ain't had your fourth dimension on when you went to the club. You should have had you some. You should have had you some of that. You know, some of them creams on. You would have got you a better man. You out there wearing all that, you know, white diamond. Ain't that some of them white when the women wear? What that stuff y'all be wearing? Well, that's the old woman stuff. That's that stuff I bought my mama back in the day. Anyway, that's what you got to understand. This sister hate her royalty. You understand? Okay, where were we at in Esther? I understand. What was we at? And we was in regular Esther. Where was we at? Chapter 4. We finished 4, right? Yeah, if I perish, I perish. Now let's go to chapter 5. We're trying to get through this real quick. We got 9 chapters. We're gonna try to. I'm trying to get through as fast as I can. But I want y'all to understand the important parts of it. So this is after the prayer. Now you just heard the prayer, and now the fasting was done. The 3 days and all the fasting. Now read chapter 5.
On concert. Chapter 5, verse 1. Now it came to pass on the 3rd day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house, over against the king's house, and the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house, over against the gate of the house. And it was so when the king saw Esther, the queen, standing in the court, that she obtained favor in his sight. And the king held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand.
Let me tell you what happened in the other. If you go over to the editions of Esther, it gives you a more detailed on how it happened. It says she came in the door with her dress. It was a long trail dress. He had 2 sisters with her. She leaned on the sister all delicately. She fell before the king. Listen, if you want to get something out your man, try falling in front of him. You didn't try talking noise and slapping on the side of the head. And nigga, you ain't nothing. Try, and falling in front of him. Let me tell you something. That brother gonna melt. He gonna know you ain't up to no good, but he not gonna be able to fight it. Now I'm giving away free game that I shouldn't be giving away. Falling before your husband and saying, "Oh my God, sir, I just really need this money so I can go buy these shoes." Damn. Check your cash app. I already sent it to you. I know you was coming in here with that. That's how you get your man. You don't get your man by doing what America taught you to do. To be talking loud and being, loud mouth and cussing them out and disrespecting them. You get them by being more feminine. You can get way more your strength is your femininity. That's your power. See, our strength is our masculinity, And the Lord gave you a tool for the war. See, what you used to using for the war is that Vaseline that you put on your hands before you go fight somebody. That's what you used to using. That's your tool. You want to put the Vaseline on your hands and your face and all that. Well, guess what? What you need to be doing is putting on some of that perfume, putting on a dress, and saying, Yahweh Shema Allah Thabah Hashem Yahweh Shah. Damn, what you want? God damn. Okay, go ahead. You can go. You can do it. Because that's what a man really wants. Listen, real men are not gay. We don't want a woman that's like a man. And you want to ball up your fist and swell up. You can mess around and get knocked out. And that's your fault because you acting like a man. Give your man a chance to be able to look at you and say, baby, okay. And that's what she knew. And that's what she did. Keep reading.
Verse 2. And it was so, when the king saw Esther the queen standing in the court, that she obtained favor in his sight. And the king held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand. So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter. 3. Then said the king unto her, What wilt thou, Queen Esther? And
what is thy request? And this shall be given unto thee, even half of the kingdom. He's like, look, what do you want? Whatever you want, girl, I'll give it to you. Keep reading.
And what is thy request?
Read verse 4.
Come. Verse 4. And Esther answered, If it seem good unto the king, let the king and Haman come this day unto the banquet that I have prepared for him.
Let who? The king and who?
Let the king and Haman come this day unto the banquet that I have prepared for him.
Let me tell you something. This is when she started playing chess. Because Haman is the one who's trying to get her people killed. And she's telling her husband, if you could, sir, I would like for you and Haman to come in, and I would like to have a banquet for you two. Keep reading.
5. Then the king said, Cause Haman to make haste, that he may do as Esther hath said.
Go ahead.
So the king and Haman came to the banquet that Esther hath prepared.
Keep reading.
6. And the king said unto Esther at the banquet of wine, What is thy petition?
Go ahead.
And it shall be granted thee.
Go ahead.
And what is thy request? Even to the half of the kingdom it shall be performed.
Go ahead.
7. Then answered Esther and said, My petition and my request is, if I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it please the king to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them. And I will do tomorrow as the king has said.
So let me tell you what happened. The king was like, bet, that's a bet. We're going to have a banquet tomorrow. So the white man goes home and tell his wife, baby, I made it. I got a meeting with the king tomorrow and his wife. They about to raise me up. Build the gallows because we finna kill these Jews. And I want, everybody to come over. We're going to have a feast. So he had a feast at his house with him and his family. And they was talking about how happy they were about the banquet meeting that they was about to have tomorrow with the queen. Now, read chapter 6.
Come. This is the book of Esther, chapter 6, verse 1. On that night could not the king sleep, and he commanded to bring the book of records of the chronicles, and they were read before the king. 2. And it was found written that Mordecai had told of Bigthana and Teresh, 2 of the king's chamberlains, the keepers of the door, who sought to lay hand on the king Ahasuerus.
Right.
And the king said, what honor and dignity hath been done to Mordecai for this? Then said the king's servants that minister unto him, there is nothing done for him.
They read the Chronicles to him. They said, did we ever reward him for saving my life? And they were like, nah, we never rewarded him, sir. We didn't do nothing for him. Now read verse 6.
Come, verse 6. So Haman came in, and the king said unto him, what shall be done unto the man whom the king delighteth to honor?
Now, the king, it's so funny. The king talking to the white man and saying, hey, what should I do to a man that I want to honor? I want to honor somebody. What should I do? Listen to Haman's response. Go ahead.
Come. Now Haman thought in his heart, to whom would the king delight to do honor more than to myself?
He was like, this got to be for me, the water. He said, who else would the king want to honor more than me? I'm a white man. And keep reading.
Verse 7. And Haman answered the king, for the man whom the king delighteth to honor, 8, let the royal apparel be brought with which the king useth to wear, and the horse that the king rideth upon, and the crown royal which is set upon his head.
Right.
9, and let this apparel and horse be delivered to the hand of one of the king's most noble princes,
Go ahead.
that they may array the man withal whom the king delighteth to honor.
Stop. What is Haman doing and saying? Everything he wanted. He like, you know what you should do, king? You should get your garment and put it on him. You should put him on one of your baddest horses and let him ride through the city, because he thinks this is for him. And he like, yeah, king, yeah, that's what you should do. That's what this white man is saying. Keep reading.
Come. And bring him on horseback through the streets of the city.
Yeah, go ahead.
And proclaim before him.
Go ahead.
Thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delighteth to honor. 10. Then the king said to Haman, make haste, and take the apparel and the horse, as thou hast said, and do even so to Mordecai the Jew.
Do it to who?
To Mordecai the Jew.
Do it to Haman.
To Mordecai the Jew.
Let me tell you something, man. Haman hated Mordecai. Guess what he felt after this? What's a word bigger than hate? No, he hated and abhorred Mordecai. He was like, wait a minute, you mean to tell me I just gave this excellent idea to the king to do it to the nigga I hate the most? He was like, well, I'll be damned. Keep reading.
Come. That sitteth at the king's gate. Let nothing fail of all that thou hast spoken.
He was like, whatever you said that I should do to somebody, that's what you better do to Mordecai, and you better not let nothing fail that you said. Go ahead. Start at verse 12.
Verse 12. And Mordecai came again to the king's gate, but Haman hasted to his house mourning, and having his head covered. 13. And Haman told Zeresh his wife and all his friends everything that had befallen him. Then said his wise men and Zeresh his wife unto him, if Mordecai be of the seed of the Jews, before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but shalt surely fall before him.
Let me tell you what his friend knew. His friend knew that whatever he was planning against Mordecai, it was not going to work. It wasn't going to work. He said, and you trying to make him fall, but you are going to fall before him. And that's what you got to understand. The Lord ain't never needed us to ever win a battle. He don't need us. The Lord is the one that fight our battles. And what you're going to have to do is you are going to have to let the Lord fight it. You're trying to fight the battle on your own. Let me tell you what you need to do. All you need to do is keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. If you do that, the Lord will handle the rest. You want that rent paid, the Lord will get that rent paid. It ain't nothing. You'll get a phone call tomorrow. See, Christians be having them testimonies. Them testimonies. I opened up the mailbox and it was $1,000. Guess what? That could really happen to you if you was in the truth. You're gonna come up in the truth, and it's gonna happen for real to you. It's gonna be a real miracle that happened to you. But it ain't gonna happen to you in the Christian church. They lying. Because if the Christians was telling the truth, why they ain't healing the coronavirus? Why the doors shut for the coronavirus? Why they ain't slapping you with the holy jacket? You know why? Because the holy jacket never worked. You got to understand that there is real power in the Most High, but it is not in your disobedience. It's not in your pride. It's in your humility, in your submission to Him. You have to submit to the Lord, man. You have to. Where we at?
Verse 11.
Read verse 12.
I'm coming, verse 12. And Mordecai came again to the king's gate, but Haman hasted to his house mourning and having his head covered.
The white man was crying with his head covered. Can I get a precept? Can I get a precept on the white man crying? Though he sought it with tears, there is no place of repentance for him. Guess what? The white man is a crybaby. That's what he do. You just saw Donald Trump crying the other day because he ain't the president. Everybody, the white man is a crybaby. And that's what he going to do. He going to cry because he's going to always lose against you. He's going to lose against you. Keep reading.
Come on. And Haman told Zeresh his wife and all his friends everything that had befallen him.
Mm-hmm.
Then said his wise man and Zeresh his wife unto him, if Mordecai be of the seed of the Jews, before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but shalt surely fall before him.
That's the truth, all right. And that's what happened. Let me get chapter 7. Now we finna wrap it. We getting on to the end of it now.
Come on. Esther chapter 7, verse 1.
Come.
So the king and Haman came to banquet with Esther the queen.
Go ahead.
And the king said again unto Esther on the second day at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition, Queen Esther? And it shall be granted thee.
Mm-hmm.
And what is thy request?
Go ahead.
And it shall be performed, even to the half of the kingdom.
Go ahead.
Then Esther the queen answered and said,
hold on, let's give me somebody else to read. That brother been reading, that brother wrote half the Bible. Get somebody else to read. Who we got? Barack, y'all go ahead, Doc. The water. We had Esther 7 and 3.
Kind. Esther, chapter 7, verse 3. Then Esther the queen answered and said, if I have found favor in thy sight, O king, and if it please the king, let my life be given me at my petition, and my people at my request.
Listen, Esther say, Lord, if I found favor in your sight, king, don't kill me and my people. I bet you the king looking like, what in the hell are you talking about? What you mean your life? You the baddest wife I got. Keep reading.
Verse 4. For we are sold, I and my people, to be destroyed, to be slain, and to perish. But if we had sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue, although the enemy could not countervail the king's damage.
She said, we have been sold to be killed. Me and my people, this wicked person is trying to kill us. Look, if it was just going into slavery, I wouldn't have said nothing.
Right.
We ain't tripping on a little bondage. That's right. But they finna kill us. And I know that this person that put this order out, they can't overpower you. Right. Because you the king. Keep reading.
Verse 5. Then the king Ahasuerus answered and said unto Esther the queen, who is he, and where is he that durst presume in his heart to do so?
He said, who is this trying to kill my baby and her family? Who? Now, Haman is sitting right there in the room. Could you imagine his heart right there? Yeah, I'm talking about, I know his heart hit the floor. Rakatha Yahweh Shah. Because guess what? There is going to be that day for every white man on this earth. There is going to be a day that every white man's heart hit the floor. Because he's going to have to pay for what he did to niggas and spicks and wetbacks. And the people that everybody have hated and called names to, they going to have to pay for what they did to you. Keep reading.
Verse 6. And Esther said, the adversary and enemy is that this wicked Haman.
Is who?
This wicked Haman.
He said that. Let me tell you. I know Haman died. He died right there. He keep reading.
Then Haman was afraid before the king and queen.
Go ahead.
Verse 7. And the king, arising from the banquet of wine in his wrath, went into the palace garden. And Haman stood up to make request for his life unto Esther the queen. Mm-hmm. For he saw that there was evil determined against him by the king.
He was like, uh-oh, this is not looking good. He was afraid at this moment. The king stormed out the room because he's like, I can't believe this. Now he shook. Watch what he do. Go ahead.
Verse 8.
He a dummy. He set himself up for failure. Go ahead.
That's right, sir. Then the king returned out of the palace garden into the palace of the banquet of wine. And Haman was fallen upon the bed whereon Esther was.
Man, guess what? The king got up and walked out. Haman fell on the bed and started pleading for his life. Listen to me, y'all. He was laying on the bed of the queen. And the king was outside the door. Brother, let me tell you. It wasn't nothing else to talk about after that. Keep reading.
Then said the king, will he force the queen also before me in the house?
He was like, you gonna take my rib? Right in front of me in my house? You go, oh, so you finna get in the bed, in my house right in front of me. Oh, you a bad joker. You a bad mother. Shut your mouth. Keep reading.
As the word went out of the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face.
What they do?
They covered Haman's face.
They put that bag over his head and snatched him out the room. You know what happened to him. You know he wasn't going to get no prayer. It wasn't no prayer session. What happened? Keep reading.
And Habana, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, behold also the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for
He said,
Mordecai.
look, over there in Haman's yard, it's a gallows 50 cubits high. Find out how much 50 cubits is. Let's find out how tall that is, so we can get a real life perspective. I think that's like 3 stories. I think they're like 3 stories high. I'm not sure, but we're going to find out. Go ahead. Keep going.
Which Haman had made for Mordecai, who had spoken good for the king. We got the measurement for 50 cubits, sir.
How much is it?
It's 100,000 feet.
Damn. How many stories is that?
Approximately 7 stories, sir.
7 stories high. Her mom was like, look, I'm finna hang these Jews. 7 stories high.
Good man.
Guess what? The white man said, I'm going to kill you in the abortion clinic. The white man can't have babies. The white man said, I'm going to put crack in your community. The white man is destroyed on opioids. Everything that the white man set up to destroy you destroys him. Go ahead, Gabawar.
Sir. Shalom, come on. So like I got a precept, sir.
Go ahead.
Psalms 10 and 2. The wicked in his pride doesn't persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices they have imagined. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, Haman imagined devices for Mordecai, and the Lord put him to death with those same devices.
Give him a hand. That's exactly right. He had it in his mind to kill Mordecai, and guess what? The way he tried to kill Mordecai is the way he was killed. He built gallows for his own death. The white man built abortion clinics because we gonna get our brothers and sisters out the abortion clinic. Those abortion clinics are going to kill white babies. Right. Because them girls at UT and Rice and U of H, they gonna be going to them abortion clinics in 3rd Ward. They're going to be going to them abortion clinics on the south side of Austin. Them kids at South and San Marcos, Texas College, Texas State, they going to be going to the abortion clinic that's set up in the hood. Not our brothers and sisters. Keep reading.
Kind of one count. Which Haman had made for Mordecai, who had spoken good for the king, standeth in the house of Haman. Then the king said, hang him thereon. Verse 10. So they hanged Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai.
Go ahead.
Then was the king's wrath pacified.
Guess what? I think they hung Haman and his wife and kids. Guess what? I think they hung all of them. You know why? Because Haman was trying to hang all of the men, women, and children. He got back exactly what he was trying to give out. What you're going to have to learn is you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are precious to the Lord. And the Lord will touch anybody that's trying to touch you. All you got to do is get in the right spirit. And the ISUPK is here to put you in the right spirit. It is here so that you can have a place of refuge. You can't have someone that looks out for you and protects you when nobody else cares about you. Because we are not selfish. We are selfless. We don't, listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about being unclean. I like being unclean. And I can't be unclean for, let me see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I got 4 days that I got to give up being unclean for you, for my brothers and sisters. That is what we give up. That's selfless. Christians ain't never got to think about being unclean. A Christian woman walk in the church bleeding. Now you see how crazy that sound to you because you in the truth. Oh, they don't mean nothing for a black woman in the Christian church. She go in that church, everybody in there bleeding, and they shaking hands and hugging. But because you in the truth, to you, that sounds disgusting. It didn't sound disgusting before you was in the truth. You see what I'm saying? You come up in here to be protected from the world. You come up in here to be protected from the things that you didn't know. And once you learn it, it's the thing that governs your life, and it's the thing that makes it to where you it's the thing that makes you love being here. I love being in the truth because I know it's the truth. I know this is the home of the truth. Hey, give Commander General Hunter a hand. Because we way in Houston, Texas, following the traditions that our ancestors followed in the scriptures because of what Commanding General Yohana held on to way in New York. Go ahead, Ike.
Like, if I may, sir, this story is so powerful. Not only is it to give a black, Hispanic, or Native American woman inspiration to serve the God of her Bible and submit herself to a man, but it also shows that if we have faith and trust in the Most High, man, you understand that we are His chosen people. You understand that we'll serve Him and keep His laws, statutes, and commandments. Because you didn't even go off into the what Mordecai had done after, you know what I'm saying, after they killed that so-called white man. You understand? But I mean, it's all we gotta do is trust the Lord, man. You see what I'm saying? We got 80 books to prove that all we got to do is trust our power and He'll deliver us from whatever hell that we in. So
Give that brother a hand, Ike, because that's absolutely right. All we got to do is trust the Lord. And the way you trust the Lord, you don't trust the Lord by saying, I trust the Lord. You trust the Lord by doing something. You trust the Lord by keeping the laws. You trust the Lord. Let me tell you something. Anybody that tell you that you can't keep the law, you ask them, which law can I not keep?
Right. That's right.
Which law is too hard for me to keep?
Right.
Is it the pork? Oh, I can't not eat pork? So you mean to tell me that pork gonna fry itself in my house and it's gonna fly off the skillet into my mouth?
Right.
Is what you telling me? Is that what pork do? Because I can't keep all the law. So which law is it that I can't keep? Or is it that you just don't want to keep it? Is it just that you choose not to keep the laws of the Lord? If you want out of this captivity, you're going to have to turn back to the Lord. And that means you got to turn back to your culture. The Lord never gave us a religion to follow. He never told you to be a Christian. He never told you to be a Muslim or an atheist or a Presbyterian or a Church of God in Christ or a Jehovah's Witness. He never told you to be that. He told you to keep His laws, statutes, and commandments so that you can rule the earth, so that everybody can look at you and say that you are a great nation. Give me Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Somebody give me Deuteronomy 4 and 6 real quick, and we're going to get up out of here.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6.
Go ahead.
Keep therefore and do them.
No, keep therefore and think about them and believe in them.
Keep therefore and do them.
You have to keep the commandments and do the commandments. Not believe the commandments are right, but do them. The way I believe that you know, the way that I can tell that you believe is by what you do. Keep therefore and do them. Go ahead.
For this is your wisdom.
This is everybody's wisdom.
For this is your wisdom.
The Bible is for all nations.
This is your wisdom.
This is your wisdom. What?
And your understanding.
Everybody's understanding.
And your understanding.
Joel Osteen know the Bible.
Your understanding.
You see how the Bible cuts everybody out of it? It tells you this is your wisdom and your understanding. The reason you'll never understand what's really going on in these scriptures is because you're looking for the answers through a Chinese man. You're looking for the answers through a white man. You're looking for the answers in this Bible through another nation when this is your understanding. Go ahead.
In the sight of the nation.
In the sight of the white man.
Right.
They're supposed to see you and hear you and say, this people, keep reading.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
People are supposed to look at you and say, you know what? These people are wise and understanding people. I asked him about the Garden of Eden, and he gave me the breakdown. Right. I asked him how many animals did Moses have on the boat, and he told me 2 unclean and 7 of the clean. I never heard that before. I asked him a question about the Bible, and he gave me an answer. These people are the great and wise and understanding people in the sight of all nations. Nobody could break the Bible down like them. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 7. For what nation is there so great, who hath God so nigh unto them, as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for?
What other nation has the Most High close to him as we do?
That's right.
Nobody.
Damn right.
The Lord is not close to the white man, the Arab, the East Indian, the Japanese, the Chinese. He's not close to anybody else but you.
Right.
Because Christ died for you. Stop trying to give your king, stop trying to give your sacrifice that the Lord gave you to another nation. And why don't you accept it? Why don't you accept it and love it and hold fast to it? Because without Christ, you would be nothing. Is that it on that? Go ahead.
You can, yeah, kind of one. Verse 8. And what nation is there so great that hath statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day?
Go ahead.
Kind of one. Verse 9. Only take heed to thyself.
Look out for everybody.
Only take heed to thyself.
Unify and join hands with everybody.
Take heed to thyself.
What is the Bible telling you? I got to ask this question because maybe you're not hearing it. What is the Bible actually? I want a sister to answer this. Read that part again.
Kind of one. Verse 9. Only take heed to thyself.
What is the Bible asking you to do? Give her the mic.
Oh, I just said, worry about yourself.
Give her a hand. The Bible is not telling you to worry about everybody else or unify with everybody else. The Bible is saying only look out for yourself. Go ahead.
Kind of one. And keep thy soul diligently.
Go ahead.
Lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart.
Go ahead.
All the days of thy life.
Go ahead.
But teach them thy son.
Teach who?
Teach them thy son.
Go ahead.
And thy son's son.
Go ahead.
Especially the day that thou stoodest before the Lord thy God in Horeb.
This is what we trying to teach you. That this is supposed to be passed down from generation to generation to generation. Nothing changed. The Bible is not outdated. It's not old. It's not over with. The Bible tells us to look out for ourselves and only ourselves because we are the people that Christ died for. This sister Esther was selfless, and that's why we read about her. This brother Mordecai had the understanding that the Lord wanted him to have, and this sister had to follow him to get that understanding. This story is letting you know that, sisters, you need to listen to a man so that you can know what the Lord wants you to do. That's what this is telling you to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the order the Lord gave us. That's the way it is. And this is a memorial. This is something that we're going to remember in the kingdom of heaven. How the Lord freed us and saved us from this white man. The same way we're going to remember the month after next, how the Lord freed us from the Egyptians at the Passover. With that, imagine. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the brother. Men of Israel. Amadim Shabbat. Imagine. Barak. How Shim Yahushua Barakatah. Yazamatai. Sor. Turn the face to sisters. Sisters, Amadim Shabbat. Men of Israel. Amadim Shabbat. Imagine. Barak. Yazamatai. Dismiss.